On the table is one of my favorite materials for making plastic items. It's called Kydex, and I stumbled on it many years ago on Amazon while researching plastic I needed for a project at that time. As someone who still needs to purchase a 3D printer for creating plastic parts, I've taken a liking to Kydex in the meantime. I'll show you why that is next. I usually start with a paper template of what I want to make, then transfer the important measurements to the piece of Kydex. In this case, the Kydex sheet is bigger than the template, but the difference in sizes is not critical to what I'm making. I'm using a propane torch to heat up the area I want to bend, while keeping the flame moving across the surface of the Kydex to prevent the surface from bubbling. Kydex has a very low melting point, so it doesn't require too much heat to bend, but it'll have to be held in place for close to a minute before the bend cools enough to hold its shape. You could also use water to cool it and move things along a little quicker. Another useful tool to have when bending Kydex is a flat tabletop. Using a flat surface while bending is helpful in keeping edges aligned or to keep a level plane between multiple surfaces. As mentioned in the thumbnail, Kydex is like Play-Doh and can be shaped and molded in much the same way. For this next accessory, I'm once again starting out with a paper template. This is a fairly simple accessory to make where I almost don't need a template, but there is one bend that is important that's hard to do by eye. The first bend creates a 1 1/4 inch slot on one side of the Kydex. Bending the Kydex into a specific size is not easy to do freehand because even if the Kydex has markings of where to bend, the resulting slot may still be slightly off. A nice thing about Kydex is it's easy to reheat and adjust the bend if it's slightly off. Whenever possible, use an object that is the exact size of the slot you need and bend the Kydex over it. This is the easiest way to get an accurate slot size and should avoid the need for adjustments in the future. This accessory may not look familiar, but it's meant to serve as a dual-sided mount for my Insta360 clip-on. The smaller side is a 3/4 inch slot I felt would be a nice generic size to have, while the size I really need is the larger 1 1/4 inch slot. 1 1/4 inch is the size of the top edge of the bouldering wall at the gym I go to. The mount should be a snug fit and shouldn't be seriously affected by vibrations. The last accessory I'm making is a really simple one. So simple that this time I don't even need a paper template. I should be able to guess the bend sizes since there is some play as long as I make the bend slightly larger. The first bend should have an opening of about 5/8 to 3/4 inch but get narrower towards the opening of the slot. The second bend is in the opposite direction and can be anything I want, so I'm making it somewhere close to 3/8 inch and again narrowing towards the opening of the slot. This may not look like anything useful, but this is another Insta360 clip-on mount that I can slide onto the sun visor in my car. I don't have a 3D printer, but for these items, I don't think I would have wanted to use one. Kydex is quick and easy to make things from, as long as the items can be made from folding a flat sheet of paper to start, followed by Kydex once it's fine-tuned to one's liking. Maybe Kydex can become a part of your plastics craftsmanship. Leave any questions or comments you have in the comments section down below. That's all I have for now, and I'll catch you in the next video.